Welcome to Siemens webinar on how to find breakthroughs using product lifecycle management in oil field services and equipment industry. I'm Wael Salama, the Business Development Manager for the Southwest region in the United States and the oil and gas industry expert globally at VMH International. I'm presenting alongside Dennis Peters, the Senior Director of Energy and Utilities Practice and one of Siemens' prime thought leaders in the energy industry. And Kip Batista, Siemens Team Center Technical Specialist, to answer any questions at the end of this webinar. Today, I'll introduce our view of the overall industry trends and challenges for the oilfield services and equipment providers, and give you a brief background on VMH and our relationship with the Siemens software division. After that, Dennis will talk in details about how we are applying our software solutions to create breakthroughs in the energy industry and outline some examples of our customer success. The oil and gas industry is facing numerous challenges today. Companies must find ways to extend output from maturing assets, invest capital, and achieve returns in more challenging environments. Manage assets in volatile markets with changing economics, all while meeting strict environmental obligations and ensuring safety. Engineering services and equipment companies are working hard to meet these challenges and capitalize on emerging opportunities that will sustain and grow their businesses. However, these companies must operate in more challenging environments than ever before, from extracting heavy oil and shale gas by in situ, operations to drilling deep into the ocean floor in hostile offshore environments. In addition, volatile markets mean that operations and projects can be suspended with little warning, forcing oilfield services companies to find ways to react quickly to large demand swings. New technologies are making projects more economically viable, but many of these processes are also unproven over the long term, and regulations are evolving, exposing companies to unexpected risks. On top of this, the available engineering talent to tackle these issues is becoming scarce, and companies are challenged to build and retain intellectual property. For oil field service and equipment providers, there are a number of things they can do to engineer profit into their operations. For existing products and processes, they need to find incremental enhancements that reduce the cost and sustain margins. For new solutions, they need to improve the yield of their innovation investments and introduce new products and technologies in an efficient manner. With the introduction of new computing technologies and increasing adoption of digitization, today's energy companies have the opportunity to implement new information systems that support these initiatives and foster new advances in engineering. Let me spend a few minutes to talk about Siemens' presence in the energy industry. Siemens is the largest, most enduring global integrated engineering and technology company. Siemens is renowned for large long-term investments and research and development in engineering that brings advanced technology and innovative solutions to its customers. For example, in 2013, Siemens invested almost 4 billion euros in global R&D. In the energy industry, Siemens works with its partners to tackle some of the world's toughest industry challenges. The solutions in oil and gas, renewable power, generation and distribution, instrumentation, process automation and control, and industry software. VMH is a Siemens Platinum level partner based in St. Louis, Missouri. We offer complete PLM solutions, mobile technology center to offer on-site and off-site training to our clients. Also Team Center in the cloud. VMH also hires a team of engineering students from local universities to work on projects for our customers and provide unique perspectives. The Product Lifecycle Management Software division of Siemens works with over 70,000 customers using over 7 million licenses of Siemens software. Siemens PLM software develops and licenses industry applications and open flexible technology platforms that operates in diverse IT environments. During the seminar, you will hear how to apply principles of product lifecycle management to the and distributes accurate technical information throughout projects or product lifecycles. Although certain principles originated in a discrete manufacturing business, PLM is being applied successfully in process-driven industries like oil and gas to improve operational effectiveness and discover new innovations. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Dennis Peters, who's going to talk about how Siemens is applying PLM to the oil field and services industry. Dennis spent the previous 10 years of his career in the Siemens energy sector, leading strategic initiatives in plant engineering, project management and execution, services, and product engineering.
Hello, my name is Dennis Peters, and I'm looking forward to talking to you today about breakthrough PLM solutions and the successes that we've had in this industry. I personally have over 14 years in the energy industry, and so I'm very excited about what I have to talk to you about today. First of all, Siemens PLM looks at things from an industry solutions perspective. My responsibility is to align our products and services to the needs of the energy industry and make sure that you can make high-definition PLM decision-making processes in your business. We do that by making sure that each user has a high-definition experience, meaning that they can see the information they need when they need it, and we'll talk more about that later in this presentation. It also means that we have intelligently integrated information, that we bring together information from various sources, and that people can make a decision based on all the facts. And then we know, because of the long timetables typically involved in energy products, that we have to have a future-proof architecture where each aspect of our solution, we know that that information will be available in the future when you need it. In the energy and utilities space, we look at 5 key pillars. First, we have tools that support capital project management, making sure that people can deliver their projects on time, in budget, and with the right level of quality. We also have solutions for plant design and construction based on open standards that allow you to bring plant information together from various sources and tie it together to do activities such as 4D construction planning. From an equipment design perspective, we have top-of-the-line tools for CAD data management and analysis and simulation of your products to make sure that you're providing the best equipment at the right time. We also have processes to help streamline your manufacturing and execution procedures. And then our tools all interface with plant operations and maintenance tools to make sure that we have an end-to-end experience and that information is flowing up and down your business as well as into your supply chain. Speaking of supply chain, we have interactions across all segments of the energy business. Our history is strongest when we're a market leader in the services and equipment business, where most of our tools have been carefully developed and honed over the past 15 to 20 years. But we're quickly expanding into EPCs and owner-operators as other parts of the value chain start to see the benefits of having intelligently integrated information and information at the right time. Our value proposition is the integration up and down your supply chain, that we can not only help your business, but help you deliver your products and services to your customers with more quality and value. We know that increasing profitability for your business requires people to make thousands of complex decisions in real time. So how do they do that? First of all, it means that more people need to be collaborating on the right information at the right time. They need to not be working in isolated silos, but they need to be working on the same information so that they can make the right decisions when needed. That means that they have to be able to find that information as quickly as possible. So they tend to be searching for more information. They can't just look for the information maybe that they've authored, but they also need to find information that may have been authored anywhere else across the enterprise or even within the supply chain. Once they have that information, then they have to make complex product decisions. They have to make sure that they're working with the most up-to-date information so that they can make that decision correctly the first time. And all of this is happening with companies under more and more pressure to deliver more quickly and get the right decision made the first time. When we look at energy and utilities, there's a lot of information that is required to make the right decisions. You have requirements and other general project management type information. You have plant design information, 3D geometry. You have equipment manuals that have to be created and sent out to the field. More and more we're seeing software and other subsystems come into play as equipment gets more complicated, and there's a requirement from the industry that that equipment is more intelligent in the way that it operates. You also need to verify and validate that the information that you have is correct. So all of these components have to work together. And historically, we have seen in companies that each of these pieces of information tend to live in separate systems. The project management team is executing in one location, another team for software is executing somewhere else, a team is working in the 3D geometry space, etc. And we know that this information has to come together in a single unified architecture. So the basic capabilities of a PLM environment will bring together things such as requirements management, systems engineering, quality management, plant information, production and service information, bringing it all together in one environment. And as we mentioned before, that information comes together in an intelligently integrated fashion. So it's not a series of disconnected pieces, but you're able to manage large volumes of complex data in one place. It's future-proof because we utilize open standards to make sure that that information is accepted industry-wide and that it is going to be available in the long term. And finally, we want to make sure that that information is provided in a high-definition way, that people aren't seeing simply some flat, unintelligent drawing, but that they have access to the richness of the information behind it to make sure, again, that they're making the right decision at the right time. All of that, it leads to advanced solutions for the entire life cycle, and it's built to help you solve your key industry challenges and support everyone in your process. At Siemens PLM, we've observed two key components of information and process management when it comes to the energy and utilities industry. We tend to see that the industry either looks at things as a product lifecycle view, including things like order engineering and equipment design and configuration, or they tend to look at things from a project lifecycle view, with things such as proposals and contracts and supplier collaboration. But often those two views are executed in two different worlds, and a valuable collaboration between the two simply doesn't exist. At Siemens PLM, we've been working to bridge these two environments together. We know that it's important that all of your information on the left side in the product view has a bearing on the project, and vice versa. If changes happen in the project, those changes need to be applied quickly in the way you execute your products to make sure that you have a successful delivery. Our strength over the past 20 years has been to build solutions that tie the product lifecycle view together end to end. On the right-hand side, though, what we've seen in the industry is a lot of disconnected systems. There are pieces of environments here and there, but they all don't tend to talk to each other. And so when a change happens, that change may get reflected in the scheduling tool, but may not get reflected in the documentation, and certainly may not get reflected on the product lifecycle view. And so companies spend a lot of money and time and effort trying to keep these two worlds connected in order to deliver their solutions profitably. But at Siemens PLM, we've found an answer that connects both of these environments together. We have a number of key products in our suite that offer these solutions. When you look down the left, we offer things such as product engineering, manufacturing engineering, lifecycle collaboration that brings together your project and engineering worlds. We have tools for mainstream engineering as well as specialized engineering, and we perform simulations and test solutions. The names of our products for each of these areas are things like NX, Technomatics, Teamcenter. We have tools such as Solid Edge, FEMAP, and Insight for the mainstream engineering. We have very specialized tools such as FiberSim, Syncrofit, SDE, and QPE. And then we have simulation and test software such as our Virtual Lab, Imagine Lab, and Test Lab. Each of these products provides some very definite value for your business, such as in our product engineering, the ability to design, simulate, and manufacture equipment faster than ever and with more quality. In our manufacturing engineering, that we're able to manage the processes that build and support equipment more efficiently. In our lifecycle collaboration tools, we're able to provide companies the ability to innovate and collaborate more intelligently across their entire enterprise. In mainstream engineering, we can help companies accelerate their designs and bring them faster to market. And in specialized engineering, we can solve very complex engineering challenges very rapidly. And finally, we're able to bring all of that together and simulate those processes with our simulation and test tools. For the oil and gas industry, today what we want to do is highlight one particular use case. And in this use case, what we want to demonstrate is our ability to give you a knowledge-driven service and equipment delivery model so that you can see how your information ties together across your entire enterprise. The use case that we'll be looking at today is a brownfield scenario, and it's going to start on the left-hand side. So let's imagine for a moment that you have an issue that's been raised out in the field. Well, somebody in your home office has to understand what exactly that person in the field is dealing with. So the first thing that they're going to do is look into our site configuration tools so that a user can see quickly what equipment the field personnel are dealing with. Second, they may raise a corrective action, preventative action called CAPA issue in the system, and that issue is tied directly to the site configuration. From there, a root cause analysis generally needs to be performed. What's causing the issue? Why is the issue happening? And what do we need to look at to make sure that we can address it in a timely manner? Next, an order may be executed so that we can resolve that field issue. And so building that order based on past experience is a critical driver for many of our customers. That order then will result in a schedule impact. So we need to have quick access to the project schedule and be able to see changes and impacts to that schedule in a timely manner. Companies then deal with transmittals so that they can communicate with their field personnel, vendor personnel, customers, or whoever else may be involved in the project. So you'll start with an update to the master document list to inform all parties of the change that's going to occur. From there, perhaps there's some 3D design activity that would go on to update the configuration of the equipment on the site. And then that information needs to get published properly so that field personnel can respond to those changes. Once those publications are updated, a transmittal is sent back out to the field again so that field personnel know how to respond to the issue. And finally, you'll see CAPA again. So where CAPA was involved at the beginning of the process, it is involved again at the end of the process, and all of the information in between is seamlessly linked together. So take a moment to imagine if you could go to one system in your enterprise that you could see a change that happened, and you could see all of the relevant information, whether it was the schedule, the 3D design, the documentations that went to the customer, all of that information tied together in one place. That's the value that PLM brings to you, linking your information and process management activities together with your equipment design and execution. First, let's take a look at the activity for site configuration lookup. One of the business challenges that we see frequently is often at the beginning of an issue, there's no clear basis of fact for what the site is actually dealing with. What equipment is on site? How is it configured? How much usage has it seen? Those types of questions are important when you're first dealing with an issue. So one of the products we've brought to market is called IntoSite. And what IntoSite does is it brings together the power and ease of use of Google Earth with the richness of information available in our Teamcenter product. So users can navigate with Google Earth, find a site, and look up the configuration information right out of Teamcenter. Also, directly from that interface, they can launch Teamcenter and create an issue right from the interface. The benefits to this is that you have reliable site information right at the beginning of your process, so that people aren't collecting information to have to go do research later, but the data is connected to the right information right from the beginning. The next activity we'll look at is our corrective action, preventative action solution. One of the business challenges we also see is that issues are not always tracked from inception to closure, containing all the richness of information that is created along the way. We know that information can come from anywhere. Perhaps in today's world, people are using an iPad when they're out at a site and identify an issue and need to be able to communicate that back to the home office quickly. Perhaps they're using a solution like our IntoSite interface, or maybe they're using an Office client or some other solution to identify issues that they need to have escalated and addressed. At Siemens PLM, we have a CAPA solution that allows you to identify the information and then manage it throughout its entire life cycle from beginning to end while connecting with all of the relevant information. Sometimes those begin as issues and end as issues, and the response back to the field is one that's simply informational. But we also know sometimes those issues can turn into actions, where somebody needs to take an appropriate step to remedy the situation. And even if the issue is serious enough, sometimes it requires a change in the project or maybe a change in the equipment on site. Teamcenter has the ability with our CAPA solution to manage all of those processes from beginning to end. And no matter what level they go to, all of the information is captured in one repository. So a significant benefit that our customers have seen is transparency and traceability across the entire process. The next activity we'll look at is root cause analysis for noise and vibration problems. We know that many of our clients have issues in the field that only demonstrate themselves through noise and vibration. Siemens PLM has tools that allow you to quickly analyze where those vibrations are coming from and deal with them appropriately. We know that one of the business challenges is that individuals in the field aren't always able to perform the test on their own. So at Siemens PLM, we provide multi-channel measurement instruments and a systematic approach to being able to identify those problems and resolve them in a timely manner. The benefits for this is that the operator can perform the test on site and that his analysis will enable the home office to identify the root cause of the problem, detect the error correctly the first time, and resolve it quickly. We also provide solutions for managing your equipment configuration. We know that business challenges that exist out there include shorter lead times for orders, so higher demands from our customers, that the accuracy of the deliverables has to be high and has to be right the first time. We know that these orders have to scale across your organization, and that oftentimes you have unpredictable margins at the beginning of a project that don't manifest themselves until later. So at Siemens PLM, we've developed a solution that can auto-generate most of your proposal information for you automatically, including the engineering information that goes with it. This auto-generation of information is based on a capture and reuse of previous engineering and business logic, so that you can leverage lessons learned from the past in each of your orders going forward into the future. This enables your organization to deliver products with a shorter schedule because you've bypassed certain upfront conceptual design activities. It gives you more throughput without additional resources, and it reduces your errors and reworks so that you can have more predictable margins. We also provide schedule management activities. We know that schedules are critical in any project. Business challenges that we often see is that executives, program and project administrators, and project team members are often disconnected from one another and looking at different parts of the schedule. So at Siemens PLM, we help bring those members together and make sure that they're working off the same set of information. We interface with some of the most common scheduling tools out in the industry, and we're able to view those tasks directly in our Team Center product and make sure that every team member has access to the most up-to-date information and that they know the due dates for the activities that they're working on. The benefits for this is that you have more visibility into the work that's being done because schedules are being pushed down to your project teams, and then real-time feedback of those schedules is being pushed back up to your project administrators. That gives you a greater level of predictability in your program and helps you to execute your projects on time with more frequency. Siemens PLM also has comprehensive project document management capabilities. Again, we have seen in many places a lack of integration between the project execution and the product management. And we know that commercial changes aren't always reflected in engineering, and likewise engineering changes don't always get reflected properly in the project. Team Center brings all of this information together in one place. And instead of managing things in the age-old way with file folders where information can get lost and information is copied multiple times, Team Center provides a database to manage your documentation. And so all of your schedules, reports, drawings, data sheets, all the information that makes up your project is associated with each other. And so that if a change happens in one location, you can see the impact on all the other documents in your project. Again, this provides a much greater level of transparency to your business and gives you a greater transparency to your customers. Also, it's important to note that we use ISO 14306 as the open data exchange format to connect all your information across your design tools. ISO 14306 was pioneered by Siemens PLM, and it has become an industry standard. Energy equipment is becoming increasingly more complex, with customers demanding higher performance and more reliability, with government standards demanding increased safety and environmental concerns. Historically, most of this equipment has been designed perhaps in 2D systems, with some of the more advanced equipment being designed in a 3D environment. But we're seeing a trend in the industry towards more of a 3D interface as a newer workforce comes in and the need to educate them more rapidly on that equipment and the configuration becomes an absolute necessity. Again, this drives to a high definition execution experience that mandates that each person has the right information available at their fingertips in a context-sensitive and easy-to-understand way, which 3D provides. That gives the ability to integrate simulation capabilities and manufacturing capabilities that simulate processes before they're actually executed out in the field. The benefits for this are a substantial increase in the quality and reliability of these systems by automating the processes up front. Field personnel are increasingly being asked to work on more components of the systems and become experts in each of those systems. However, documentation often isn't available to them readily, and when they do have access to it, may not necessarily match the equipment that is shown out in the field. This becomes a huge challenge because field personnel rely on that documentation to execute their work properly. And if they don't have the right information, that can lead to other project issues. A solution to this problem is to have a document content authoring system linked directly to the engineering data available in the system. This way, whenever a change happens in the equipment, the documentation staff is notified almost immediately and can respond to the change and update the documentation. By updating the documentation electronically, it means that folks in the field have access to the most up-to-date information. Our customers have seen substantial benefits by implementing systems such as this. Not only does it reduce time for the documentation team, but it also means that the folks in the field get access to the right documentation much faster than in the past and help avoid costly delays and non-conformance costs in the project. Next, I'd like to share with you some of our successes in this field. First, FMC Technologies has been a long-time customer of Siemens PLM. They have addressed some of their toughest challenges with our products that have resulted in enhanced profitability and time to market for their equipment. FMC also has had to deal with the increased compliance pressures brought on by the industry, but they've leveraged their PLM solution in such a way that they have addressed those compliance issues with our tools and brought about increased value to their business. They're able to share data across their 7 global design centers in a seamless fashion. Those 7 global design centers are not simply shipping information to each other, but they're truly working on one common core set of data. And so FMC is able to move activities across the globe as demand dictates. FMC has seen significant reductions in their engineering hours per project, and that has allowed them to have growth without significant increases in headcount, which is a critical driver for their business today. This helps them keep their costs down and helps them speed up development and innovation, which gives them a significant advantage in the marketplace. Weir Valves and Controls is also another longtime Siemens PLM customer. They had needs to become a BOM-centric design organization so that they could improve access to information across their entire enterprise. This helped them change their business model from one that designed their solutions for each and every project to one that was able to reuse standard parts to learn from previous projects and leverage those designs in new projects. They also accomplish this by implementing electronic sign-off and having auditing tools that trace the history of their design from inception through to sales, product design, and execution in the field. The results at Weir Valves was significant. They've been able to measure at least a half an hour of paperwork reduced each day per engineer. They've done this through having greater reuse of standardized parts, as we already mentioned. They've minimized the potential for error by having the electronic drawing processes in the system, so they're more system-based and process-based. And they have systematic control of their data and design processes. And if I could leverage the quote from Jonathan Mills, whenever we look for information, we know we will be seeing live, reliable data. This is a significant advantage that we have heard time and time again from our energy customers, who in the past have lived with systems that were disconnected and fragmented, and people were uncertain if they were working with the most reliable, up-to-date information. So I hope what you've seen today is a solution that provides an intuitive, transparent environment for all of your users, with data gathered and filtered from multiple sources based on a system that is open, that can handle any of your design documents from any system, and that with that information pulled together in a common location, you're able to deliver information to your users within the context of their job. This gives your enterprise the ability to make decisions based on appropriate data in the context in which they need to be made.